Alright, so I'm going to be giving my affirmative rebuttal. I'm going to refute my opponent's argument in order to prove why my claims are superior. Starting off with his first point of a console being easier to use. My opponent mentions that when you first purchase a PC, you must download drivers, download Google Drive, Google Chrome, download Steam. All these components may seem overwhelming at first, but once everything is sorted in the PC, managing it is a lot easier. A computer is a high quality device. We all know that. So I think it would only make sense that it shouldn't take a couple steps. If it did, I think it'd be a little worrisome for us. It's an intricate piece of technology where a console is more simple. So going for the simple option isn't always the best choice, because if it is so easy to set up, it is going to be a lot easier to have complications, and given there aren't as many functions and commands to like a PlayStation or Xbox, certain types of damage done are irreversible. Do you want a quick and easy setup where anything could break down and potentially mess up the console forever, or a PC which has been built to last a lifetime where having a strong foundation and setup is key? Moving on to a second argument, which speaks on similar topic, where he argues transportation is easier with a console. This again is an argument with little relevancy, as it speaks on the outside aspect. The argument of a PC having less transportation options is simply not a deciding factor on why PCs are better than consoles for gaming. My opponent was speaking as if consoles and PCs are moved around like a phone, when in reality a better comparison would be a TV or display monitor, because in actuality, even if you can carry the console in one hand and you have to carry a PC with two hands, both are only possible with a TV or like a monitor screen. I simply have refuted my opponent to state that the fact that transportation isn't detrimental to the overall argument, as both are stationary during the time being used. Moving on to my third and final point for my opponent's argument. He makes the claim that you can keep playing games without worrying about hardware being obsolete. I think this argument in actuality is actually going in my favor, because my reasons list first that these manufacturers make it to where games are able to be played on a console, but then 5 years down the line, the games become too advanced for the quote-unquote new console, so everyone then leaves the previous one for a newer console. The point is that the newest console are made to play games, but when those start to age, the amount of people playing those games on that console is going to lessen, and so more people are going to shift on their focus of the newer console so they can play the newer games, and that becomes priority. Whereas for a PC, focusing on updating a couple parts every few years, every 2-3 let's say, is a lot more manageable. I've mentioned in my previous arguments that long-term PCs are better, and with this point my opponent brought up, it only deepens my argument.